Sci-Fi Radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
It kind of sounds like, Jeff, like you're taking your finger on your lips and going... Yep. That's awesome. Hey, everybody. It's another Thursday night, and we are here for Docking Bay 94 on sci-fi.radio. You could be listening to us over there. You could be watching us on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. Yep. We're all over the place. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is just Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And thanks for being here. Let's see, get the video up and going there. Here we go. Full house tonight. Woohoo! And pretty good. How was everybody's week?
Busy.
It was busy.
In a good way or in a bad way?
In a I'm tired way. So yeah. good some parts, but yeah.
Just wiped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're I feel like maybe I did just a tiny bit too much. I know that like yesterday I was really knocked out. And
yeah, Sean was just gone yesterday.
I was falling asleep everywhere. It was like full on narcolepsy. It was really terrible. Yeah, it was for sure.
Yep.
A pretty busy week. Let's get to oh.
Yeah.
Well,
oh man.
Well, first thing I guess is the thing that we all did.
Yeah.
Which was Sony Ghostbusters Day.
Yep.
Which was pretty awesome.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Colleen got to go this time, and you hadn't been, and Sparrow got to go this time.
He hadn't been either.
And they hadn't been, and that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it was nice to have some fresh blood, as it were. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, that's why I shaved on.
Oh, did Dawn notice? Oh, you know, and I don't even have the dumb.
Yeah, Alan is watching. Hi, Alan. Hi, Lori. Hey, Chris and Dawn and Talon, Thor and Laura, and over on YouTube, Pat's watching.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so we got all these people.
Hey, Pat. All right, I have the chat up now. I didn't have it up. I'm looking. I'm pretty sure I posted like a whole. Yeah, here we go. Here's a whole directory of pictures for Ghostbusters Day. Let's get this going up here, and we were also a pretty diverse crew, which was good. And oops, I gotta turn Colleen on. There she is.
Hi.
Ta-da!
Woohoo!
It's like I know she's there somewhere. So yeah, so here's the part. We got terrific parking at Sony Studios, which was great. We rolled right up. They gave us a primo parking spot. We just walked right in, which was cool.
Don't know who those people are behind us.
Right. And then this was for the Ghostbusters anniversary. It was the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters, if you could believe it. It came out in 1984, and it was on the actual anniversary. It came out on the 8th of June. And yeah, so it was pretty great. We went to Sony Studios, which owns Columbia, which did Ghostbusters. Sony's very vested right now in all of that. And we thought it was just going to be kind of a movie screening, but they do usually try to make it a little bigger than that. And the last time we did this, Jeff, they showed the movie outside on the lawn in folding chairs. Mm-hmm. This time, they went really nuts and they let us in the actual screening theater.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Which was pretty cool. But it also had like a lighter attendance, I think, than the past Ghost Fests, which were much bigger.
Yeah.
So
not as many people.
Yeah, they reined it in, and I think that was a choice by Sony to not, break the bank, I think. And so so we had some fun stuff. They had this big no ghost inflatable, which was cool. Of course, we had to get a picture there. We left our packs in the car because we didn't really want to mess with them inside the theater. We thought that would be a drag. So
we never went back for them.
No, there was no need, and we were moving a lot faster, I think, without them. Some of our guys from the OC Star Wars club, the Ghostbusters club, did go and get their packs, and we're like, they got it covered. We were fine. we had our everything but the packs, and they were in the car, and I felt good about that.
Yeah.
So those of you who have known me for a while know that I got to be on the Goldbergs as myself, and when we did the Goldbergs episode, we sat here there was a giant line of people waiting to get into Return of the Jedi in 1983. It was this fake 1980s thing on the Goldbergs, and so I took the opportunity to sit back down where I had been before, just kind of for giggles thing. They put up a whole bunch of Ghostbusters posters, which were really cool, but they made this really kind of goofy error
I understand that one.
in putting them up, and it's an easy one to fix. Look at the patch on Colleen's shoulder on the left, and look at the poster over my shoulder on the right. Mm-hmm. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Now,
to
be fair, a lot of the Translate posters are double-sided. It's easy to mix them up, but you think somebody would have caught it instead of putting it up backwards, in which case, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Jeff and Sparrow. Sparrow went as Phoebe, as like a last-minute costume. Kind of like jammed it down.
Such a great costume, too.
Yeah. Aubrey got all the parts for it, and then Sparrow was having trouble with a wig that did not want to cooperate to be curled, so just curled their own hair.
Well, but it came out great. It was perfect. Yeah.
And like purple seems like it's something that Phoebe might do.
It's a very Phoebe thing. Yeah.
So it looked great.
Yeah, it's kind of epic. Ivan Reitman was there, and he gave a really terrific introduction, which was cool. Jason, thank you. But he kept mentioning Ivan.
Yes.
And so like every time he does one of these, he's like, I'm so sad my dad isn't here to see this. I'm so sad my dad isn't here to see this. Which is kind of a bummer, because I'm pretty sure that every time anybody ran into Ivan Reitman, they're like, oh man, Ghostbusters was such an amazing
pretty
thing.
much.
But, to be able to bask in all of this, I'm sure would have been pretty terrific, especially on the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Would have been super cool. So we had some pretty good seats in the theater, and it's their screening theater, which means it's just top of the line technology in there. So the projection was amazing, the sound was amazing. It was a really great experience. And what was the observation you made to me when we were sitting there waiting for the movie to start, Colleen?
That I have only ever worn the same clothes to see this movie, and this was the third time I had seen it. Right,
she's only seen Frozen Empire in a Ghostbusters jumpsuit, which is kind of funny.
I was like, oh my gosh, I think I wore the jumpsuit when I saw it in the theater, and then
when you and I went, Jeff, we were both in jumpsuits. So definitely then, and then we wore one the previous night, Colleen and Jeff and I. I think this was my third time too, and I guess
I guess maybe I had only seen it twice.
I guess that's true for me, is that I haven't seen the movie in anything other than a Ghostbusters jumpsuit. This is the back end of the theater. Check out those speakers, man. This is where they do all the 3D stereo positioning for stuff. Dolby Atmos and that kind of thing. It's kind of crazy. So it was quite a quite a place to see, and it was much nicer than the theater that they made us sit in when we did the Goldberg's episode, where we were upstairs from this theater.
Oh yeah, geez.
And it was like this little crappy.
It was tiny, man.
But it looked suitably 1980s, which is what they needed.
Yes.
This does not look 1980s. Yeah. So I get
Laura,
it.
Hey, Laura, the eye effect was something that that Sean kind of put together and we put it into the glasses as LEDs so that
Jeff's
it would
glasses.
be
yeah.
much from the first movie when he turns to people that are like, you know, I guess he's hey, you want to ride, pal? You talk to me, or whatever, because he's talking to the horse,
right?
And his eyes glow, so that's what we did.
And this was Jeff's birthday present one year, and we put this together. Unfortunately, Jeff's had to keep fixing it because it gets a lot of wear.
Yeah. It kind of loosens up a bit and have to go in there and rejigger the wires.
I feel like eventually we will do a Mark II where we take a pair of these glasses and we drill into it so we can side light it, and then the lights show up there. But I don't think that would be as bright as what we're doing.
No. I think this works. It's just it's really more along the lines of the connection back down by the button that I have to click to get the eyes going.
Right.
That's the part that gets the most wear and tear.
We'll find another way to do it. Going the wrong way. But here you can see how that's kind of set up on Jeff's glasses. There are wires coming into the center, and then the LEDs are dead center. He's got to look around him.
Yeah.
So when they let us out of the movie, which was terrific, they had some great giveaways too, which were really fun. City of LA declared it Ghostbusters Day the previous day, which I thought was really sad. They should have done it at this event. Like we did for the Star Wars celebration in 2007. On the 30th anniversary of Star Wars, we had that declared Star Wars Day in the city of LA. And we did it in such a way that we could share it with all of the people who had come into town for Star Wars Celebration. And that would have been epic, I think. But
yeah, totally.
Anyway, they were blowing snow everywhere, which was kind of cool. There was a lot of ice-related stuff, sort of a fake firehouse that you could pose in front of, which was neat. And, of course, the ectomobiles were well represented. They had one from this movie. They had one from the last movie. This was the one that was like the really good photo op where they had lots of fog and mist and things and mood lighting. And this was right across from the firehouse, which is the Ghost Corps offices. They took one of the buildings, they dressed it up like Hook and Ladder 8, and it was super cool. And then, man, they did not skimp on the snacks.
I know, totally.
Those were crazy.
So there were 2 food trucks, and so you could get New York pizza or you could get sliders and burgers and stuff. So that's where we made a beeline for, because we were starving. These guys had a whole bunch of drinks. They had like an Arnold Palmer. They had an Ecto Cooler, and they were serving those, which was pretty cool. Let's see what else. There were guys making frozen cereal bits, which had been sort of enlarged through liquid nitrogen, which was really weird. Those were strange. There was cotton candy. There were marshmallows that had been hand stenciled by the marshmallow people. Cotton candy. I mean, all sorts of stuff. Ice cream and squishy tubes, which we still have in the freezer, I think.
We finished ours off on the way home.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Box of water? Huh?
Yeah, the box of water. Which is, and although honestly, I kept expecting to turn it and see like a missing kid on the side or a missing something on the side, because it was a carton of water. It was really weird.
Yeah.
They had Dan Aykroyd's motorcycle from the movie on display.
Yeah.
Danny Aykroyd, who used to actually own a motorcycle like this. I don't know if this is his or not, but he used to own one and tool around L.A. on it. And the LAPD would pull him over all the time because like you can't ride a police bike like that. He's like,
Yeah.
I bought it. I can. And then they had prop exhibits. So they had real. This is a stunt pack that they had, which was pretty cool. It's slightly different from the regular packs. They had this entire room. Callie's jumpsuits on the right, and they had the red parka jacket on the left, and lots of gizmos in between. And these are the offices where the Ghostbusters franchise is run out of. It's called Ghost Corps, like Marine Corps, and it's terrific. The prop Jeff refuses to make.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I actually put in a bunch of the posts a while ago, but after looking at the actual pictures of it, I think I need to completely redo it anyway.
Well, and this is the one that everybody asks for too. So it's you're gonna do it eventually. I know.
I mean, someone ran up with one, here, hold this.
Right.
Click, click.
This is sort of the wrist-based thrower that Janine had.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I saw people taking all sorts of pictures of those, looking ready to recreate it. Colleen and I at the Ghost containment unit, which somebody was saying that this is the one from the movie. That they just moved in here. I'm not entirely sure that's true. I'd have to do some screen matching, but
it's possible.
It's still pretty cool nonetheless, and the buttons were kind of functional and stuff, which were neat.
Yeah.
Completely ice covered packs, which were cool. There was just a lot of neat stuff to look at, but you had to remember to go over there, because if you didn't, you would have totally missed it. Life-size Slimers. Jeff took a picture with this terror dog head at one point.
Oh yeah. I threw those in our chat thingy, our FB chat. You can find them.
And then the Shandor building. It's just like, you could tell these people really enjoy working on the Ghostbusters stuff. This is the original Ectomobile. You can tell by the blue hoses on the side. And the outside of Hook and Ladder 8, as the offices are. We had a really tremendous time. They had all sorts of little photo opportunities. This was they made ice cream cones with marshmallows in them, which was super cool. And then they lit the marshmallows on fire, which was good, but they didn't quite get the marshmallows soft enough. But the marshmallows were handmade, which made them pretty epic. And so... of course, this is the old MGM Studios. It's where they did The Wizard of Oz. And so there's a giant rainbow under which you must walk to get back to your car. You can see little Colleen on the left-hand side there of the picture.
Little Colleen.
As we made our way out. And just past this on the right are the offices for Columbia Studios. Or William Penn Academy, if you like the Ghostbusters. If you like.
So it's one of them. They had someone that was right next to them made like a pretty interesting flavored Ecto Cooler. It was more lime and stuff flavored.
Yeah, I did like what they did with it. Here you go. Here's Jeff with the terror dog and his eyes going, and. Sparrow took their picture with the Twinkies that we kept threatening to steal.
Yeah, that were totally expired by how many years?
Right, it's like 4, something like that. Yeah. It was bad. And then we took a group shot with the
with, like everybody
Ecto, and this was an ice sculpture that was dripping and melting.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. This was the guy who was doing the marshmallows loved us so much that he gave us his special marshmallows with the color logos on it, which were really cool. We still haven't eaten ours yet. But there we go.
Laura, I don't know what they call the prop. It's just a colander with a bunch of things coming out of it.
It doesn't I'm sure it has a name, but it doesn't have a name that we know.
Yeah.
It's not a thing we call it. It's just the colander.
Yeah.
It's like, what else are we gonna call it? Because it's it's a little out there.
Chris Marble's listening, watching.
Excellent. Here's the group shot of everybody from Orange County Ghostbusters.
Yeah, everyone that showed up.
And Colleen's way back there, hidden in the crowd.
Well, people kept standing in front of me.
Yeah, she kept moving. People kept... Every time she would move, somebody would move in closer. And she's like, I'm getting away from you. Stop it.
I almost just gave up and stood behind somebody.
I know. And they're like, don't cover the Ghost logo on the car. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, it's fine to not cover the Ghost logo, but, it's you got to make sure everybody can be seen. It's all we ask. That's really funny. I like that Chris is watching with somebody else who is like, dealing with the wave on his behalf.
But yeah, Sparrow was really taken aback because Sparrow just thought, oh, we're going to some sort of charity thing with Ghostbusters, okay.
Right.
And didn't really realize it was the movie and all this other stuff was happening. So
they don't really do anything like that with us. They don't do the event where we are the benefactors. Because usually we go to an event and we're helping a charity and we're working for them. It's nice to go to an event where occasionally they do nice things for us.
Yeah.
Some people call it the Keymaster Colander.
Yeah. Whatever.
The Keymaster Colander. But it's still called a colander.
Someone else calls it a science helmet.
Yeah.
Science helmet.
Yeah. It's
science trainer.
Yeah. But, Sparrow wants to do more, so, until we get the X-Wing thing all squared away into Star Wars, we'll work on getting into, doing more Ghostbuster stuff as Phoebe, most likely, whether in a jumpsuit or that other outfit. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, my gosh. Colleen and I drove to San Diego, and we saw family. That was all of our Sunday.
Yeah, and the what are they? Our great nephews, grandnephews?
Grandnephews, I guess. Great grandnephews? I have no idea.
They're our cousins' kids. Were trying on the Ghostbuster packs, and it was adorable.
They did. It was super cute.
Yeah. Although, when we got to San Diego, Sean, we went, my aunt and her family had rented a beach house for the week. And we went to the beach house. And then just after we got there, they said, okay, let's go down to the beach. And right at that time, Sean got a call that he was waiting for somebody to come and pick something up from us that we transported to San Diego.
I took a bunch of costumes down for somebody so that they didn't have to drive all the way to LA because we're nice people.
Yeah. But we did make them come to us once we got to San Diego because we're like, we drove it the 2 hours. You can do
Right.
the
It was
rest.
like another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
it was the place that you and I had stayed at, Jeff, when we went down there and we stayed with everybody to go to San Diego Comic-Con. You remember that room with all the bunk beds and stuff?
Oh, I didn't go to that place, but I know what you're talking about.
I thought you did. I thought you stayed with us.
I think Ryan and them were with you guys.
Yes, I thought you were too.
No.
At any rate, we went out. We went out to the beach, and the water was brown.
Yeah.
Like brown.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, the water's a little dirty. It was like a color not found in nature.
I can show you
like an oil spill or something?
No, it was bacteria.
It was bacteria.
Oh, okay.
And so the problem
that explains that. Okay, now I understand.
Here, I'll come over.
That was part of that news article about the dirtiest beaches. Wow,
yes,
that was one of them.
Yeah, it was kind of absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
let's see. This should,
Hi, Lady A.
This should be it. So here is we went down to the beach and we parked. We were on this little island that sort of juts out into this little bay area, and so the lifeguard station was there. And
we
all
were
that.
in Mission Bay.
Right. And, usual crazy vehicles everywhere. This one was sort of advertising for Jesus, but all I can see is where they capitalized "he" everywhere, and it looks like Michael Jackson. So you look at the back of the truck, and it says he, which I thought was really funny. So this was the beach, and it was getting kind of dark, getting a little stormy. It was kind of cold. But you see that brown?
You can just see it at the there. You can see it there.
Yeah. It was, and I'm like, I gotta look this up, and I looked it up, and they're like, oh yeah, don't go in the water. It's a bad idea.
Damn.
It was super sludgy.
So my aunt and her family were kind of disappointed that they drove all the way out from Arizona for a fun week at the beach, and it was all gross.
Yeah.
And so here's us on the beach. Yay.
I saw an article about like the 2 dirtiest watered beaches, and it was like where you guys went, and then somewhere that was actually by Hawaii.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. All brown and nasty like that. Probably, like I said, bacteria issues.
Well, and then these storm clouds had started to move in. It started to get kind of dark. It was really kind of like, really threatening looking clouds, which was funny. These are the kids who had tried on the Ghostbusters packs.
Oh, there you go.
Colleen's and my pack were still in the car from the other day, and so we brought them out and played with some lightsabers, and general goofing off was had.
Of course.
There was a tiny little guy too that he tried on my pack after his older brother did, and I had to hold it like up in the air so it didn't fall off of him because it was so big on him.
Yeah.
Sean took a picture of a toilet.
I did. Well, doesn't this look cozy? Nice stainless steel toilet. It was awful. This was in the park. This was the toilet they expected you to use.
Yeah, but
a toilet
the problem wasn't that. It was like immediately following the pictures of the Cybertruck.
Yes, well, that was part of it. That was part of it too. It's like, all the sort of stainless steel of the Cybertruck, and then the next thing I saw was the toilet.
That's funny.
And then
awesome.
we saw this thing, which was this is what replaced those old merry-go-rounds that you used to spin and fly off and break an arm and all that. Now they're like these weird little jacuzzi shapes that you sit back and lean in the chair and somebody spins you around and you can't fall out of.
Did you take a picture of that cool thing that we stood on?
I don't think I did.
There was this.
No, I didn't.
Thing. I don't even know how to explain what it was. There was a pole that came up out of the playground area, and it had like 3 metal pieces that came out of it and went all the way down and connected at the bottom.
They made it look kind of like a plant where there was like a central pole and then these sort of leaf things coming out.
And it looked kind of like it was just a piece of art. And so I went and I looked at it and I put one foot up on, because it was like, oh, this is just the right height to put a foot up on. Put my foot up on it and lifted my other foot up and I spun around real fast. And I was like, what just happened? And then Sean came out of the restroom and I'm like, you got to try this thing.
You got to try this pole.
And it's just so much fun. It like spins just from your body weight or something.
And of course, physics being what they are. So if you pull in tight to the pole, you go really fast. And if you hang out far from the pole, you slow down. You can completely control your speed. It was a blast. It was really cool.
I was like, man, where was this playground equipment when we were kids?
Yeah, there was all sorts of neat stuff that we were goofing off with. That was great. And it was.
Man, we had painful slides and
we had these like
the
slides that were like the surface of the sun.
Right, the ones that took off the outer layer of your skin as you went down them.
The big wood playground equipment, like logs like this big that you would get slivers.
Very, very often made out of like railroad
slivers.
ties and stuff, which was
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Usually it's like rusty metal stuff. Look, it's a big rocket. Like, oh dear.
Well, and I'll tell you the one that always clobbered me. So when I was growing up in Simi Valley, we had one of those big giant jungle gyms made out of wood and chains and metal bars, and it was like it was like it was designed to either kill you or make you stronger. That was like the whole thing. And so they
Conan the Barbarian,
right? Hear the lamentation of the children. And so they had this thing where there were rows of tires that were chained together, and you could climb them like a net, which was kind of cool. Except if you slid down them, you would invariably find these used tires.
Of course.
You would find the steel-belted radials that were poking out, and you would rip part of your flesh off. Yeah. And I can't even tell you how many times I ended up at the first aid station there at the park because I had got caught on this wire webbing that was sticking out of the tires. It would just clobber you. Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely. It was really crazy.
I remember.
Let's see. We did a fan film shoot that was right next to downtown LA. I thought this might have been for Ghostbusters. This is our city hall in downtown LA, and I thought it might have been Ghostbusters, but it's actually just for Pride. The Pride parade was going on that weekend, but with the purple and the green, and like it could have been, and having been Ghostbusters Day that day, I thought maybe they lit it up for Ghostbusters. Nope, this was Pride. So, and what's really funny is that like a few days later, I went and took a picture of the castle at Disneyland. Looked exactly the same. same kind of lighting, which was pretty funny. Let's see. Look and see what everybody else did. What did I do with our document? I must have closed it.
I don't know.
It's good.
Oh man.
Well, you went to Disneyland, Sean.
Yeah.
I did. I went to Disney.
And you went to that documentary.
Right, and that's
And we went to a memorial.
Oh,
we did
I remember
a
this,
lot.
Don. We had one.
We did a ton of stuff.
We went to a memorial service on Saturday before the Ghostbusters thing, and so we were dressed for the memorial service, and the instructions for the service were to wear cobalt blue and pink. Which I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, we did. We looked pretty great. We didn't take any pictures of ourselves, of course, and we didn't take pictures of the memorial or anything when we were there. And it was at a house, a very fancy house.
Very, very.
And there was valet when you got to the house, which was weird. So they're just like, "Oh, leave us your keys. We will park your car." And I'm like, "You will park my car?" Because my car usually confuses the valet people. They seem to have. They seem to have.
The memorial was very nice. They had lovely refreshments, and there wasn't any sermonizing or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just conversation and food and talking with friends.
And then
that was great.
The woman who had passed away, they were giving away her craft library. So she had hundreds of books on lace and fashion and I don't know, everything having to do with knitting, crocheting, just this entire library room full of it. And so they handed out boxes and they said, please take all the books you want.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was just lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely cool. Good. So we had a good day there. Saw a lot of good people, and we bugged out right when it ended to make it to the Sony thing that night.
Yeah,
so those were both on the same day.
We got home throwing our clothes off so we could pull our Ghostbusters things.
Right, trying to get ready before Jeff and Sparrow showed up because we were carpooling over. Because they're like, you have to carpool. And we're like, okay, and then we get there and there's all this parking. We're like, we did? Oh well, whatever.
Should we let Jeff talk about any of his stuff before you get into the Frank Miller thing?
Completely.
Hey, how about that? And I was going to say to Don, yeah, there was a couple parks that I was at when I was younger that had jets that were basically hauled out and then filled with concrete, so you climb around on them.
Were they
Um,
actual jets or were they like pretend jets?
Actual jets, like
Oh,
like they took out everything in them except some cages, I think, and such, and just stuffed them with concrete pretty much and
Wow.
made them look,
huh.
So there's one in Costa Mesa that's one that's probably still there,
Oh,
and the one by where I lived in Northern California too, probably still there.
We had fire trucks and
Mhm.
taxi cabs that they would
Yeah.
gut. Basically, it would just be the outside of them that you
Mm.
could climb on. But rusty metal.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
things are just not that way anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, my weekend, other than doing the thing on Saturday, um, was basically um, working on stuff with the house, and then like building stuff and putting things together. I did what Gregor did, except Gregor actually, I don't even know if they're listening. Gregor built a cat condo like from scratch. He like chicken wire and wood and everything. Um, I we had gotten a kit, whatever, for one, to put together. And believe it or not, from Temu, believe it or not, that's where it's from. And myself, Kevin, and Sparrow put it together. It took us like about 4 or 5 hours to do it. So three of us, 4 or 5 hours to build this damn thing. Um, and then today, uh, I built the roof. So I just had to create a roof for it because
Hmm.
it's going to be outside because we're going to have another sort of cat condo inside for the cat. That's the garage, and the garage actually the garage is currently drywalled and mudded it and some mudding up already. So we just had to finish all that up and paint, whatever, and do the flooring. So it was going to be like another room. We're going to put an AC unit in there that's you can move around, portable one. But that's where the other cat condo is going to be. So the cat will actually have a comfortable temperature out there too.
Nice.
But yeah, so the
that's
outside
cool.
one, um, to protect the cat and whatnot from primarily from the air conditioning, because the condenser or whatever the hell it is up in the attic where we're at, as opposed to the whole unit is outside in the backyard. But the condenser part is pretty much out is in the attic, and there's a drain goes out and drips outside um, of the house and drips down outside on the ground. And that's right where we put the cat condo.
That's really funny.
So I had to create a roof for it. So we got like corrugated, plastic corrugated sheets, two of those, and had to cut those in like three sections and put a piece of wood in the back with some brackets and put it all down so it slants so that now the water's gonna comes down and just hits that and goes off, bounces off or rolls off of that. So we
Wow.
ugh,
Sounds like
very
a
tiring.
full day, yeah.
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 That's definitely the theme, I think, for the week is exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on
Yeah.
Monday, Sean ran off to go
Possibly.
see a documentary that someone offered him tickets to.
I did, and it was very close. It was about just under 2 miles from the house at the local Cinemark, and so
Okay.
a friend got me a couple of tickets. I didn't know I was going to get a second ticket, which was sad because it kind of went to waste because nobody like you, Jeff, wouldn't have been able to have made it in time, which
Oh
was
yeah.
really a
Yeah.
bummer. But the event was a documentary that's been in the works for a while. It's already been premiered at film festivals and things, but it got a 1 day nationwide release that was called Frank Miller American Genius. And so we went to the XD theater at the local Cinemark, and they did a little countdown deal for it. And the movie itself was going to be about his entire long career in comics, how he got started, the projects he worked on, and things like that. And if the name Frank Miller doesn't really ring a bell for you, he did a lot of pretty amazing comic stuff early on, and he decided he wanted to be a comic artist at the age of 5, and then as a teenager he really doubled down on it. And his mom's like, Frank wants to go to New York. You got to stop him from going to New York. And Frank's dad went, screw that, I'll drive him. And drove him to New York. And Frank wasn't good. He was not very good. And he met with Neil Adams and people like that, and Stan Lee, and said, hey, check out my stuff. And they went, yeah, you might want to consider a different industry. But then he pigeonholed them, and he said, okay, I suck. Give me an hour of your time. Tell me how I suck and how I can get better. And they did. And so he kept going back to Neil Adams and going back to Stan Lee, showing him more stuff. And eventually Neil Adams is like, all right, kid, I'll give you this crappy project here that nobody else wants to do, which was like advertising art. And so he brought his advertising art back over to Neil Adams and said, okay, what can I change on this? And he's like, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could do whatever. And he's like, okay, but they approved it already. And he's like, then what are you even asking me for? You're on your way. If they approved it, you're good. And that was it. He was on his way to making comics. And of course he did the Dark Knight stuff. He did all sorts of great stuff. And then of course he got involved in movies. So he did Sin City, based on his comic, with Robert Rodriguez, who wanted to make the movie look exactly like the comic. So they did 2 of those. They did The Spirit. He did 300. There's 2 300 movies out there. Just all sorts of great stuff. He worked on The Punisher. And his first taste of working on movies was doing the screenplay for RoboCop 2.
Yep.
Which was really, really kind of funny. And he wrote some Batman cartoon stuff, and just Elektra. He did the whole Elektra series of comic books, which nobody wanted. They're like, oh, give it to that guy. And then it went gangbusters. It was terrific. Yeah. So the movie's actually really great. And in the case over here, they came and introduced the movie. This is the head of Picture House Films and the director of the film, who is, I think she's Swedish. Her name's Selene Thomas. And she was the one who really wanted him to make this. She'd worked with him in some other projects and said, you have to let me do this. You have to let me make a documentary about your life. And Frank's like, I don't know. And then he finally just sort of gave in. But he was actually really engaging. And in the case here, for our thing, Rosario Dawson came down, and she did the interview that was then piped to all the other theaters. So they sat down in chairs and did an actual interview. They took questions from the audience on Twitter, and she read the questions out and answered that. She, of course, worked with him in Sin City, and was trying to talk him into doing another Sin City, and he's like, oh, I could do that, it sounds pretty good. And she was like really excited by that. So they showed what everyone else was seeing up on the screen around the country, and I think it went to like 80 theaters or something around the country. It was kind of amazing. And did this whole thing, and Rosario was just such like a fangirl, completely like geeking out over the whole thing. And so it was a really neat experience. The movie's good. Especially because it talks about how rough the industry is, how difficult it is to get into it, and how one, you shouldn't give up, and two, you should help other people along the way, which Frank has off and on, because he got such a big leg up. He wanted to reciprocate on that. And it also talks about how he became this big kind of like rock star in the comic book scene, which didn't really happen, and it messed him up. He became a major alcoholic. He's really kind of messed up now, because he just did this long, slow slide with alcohol until somebody kind of grabbed him and shook him and pulled him out of it and said, look, you can't, you're destroying yourself. You're becoming unreliable. Your work is suffering. Your life is suffering. You got to stop doing this. And so, you know, he's recovered now, but you can see the toll it took on him. It's absolutely crazy. But you know, in terms of seeing his influences, what inspired him to become a comic artist, where he took his graphic influences from. He's only 10 years older than I am, and he looks like hell. He looks like 20 years older, just because the alcohol just took an incredible toll on him, and he's like hunchbacked and bent and broken, and it's crazy, and it's really interesting to hear him talk about that and how he got into it and how he got out of it and how he's surviving now, and like the sort of eye-opening thing that was, and the movie covers his traveling to other Comic-Cons around the world. The Louvre did a retrospective on his artwork there, and it's like, man, how do you not feel like you haven't made it if they've got an exhibit of your work at the Louvre in Paris? Absolutely nuts. And so I thought it was just going to be okay, and then I found myself really, really liking it. And it covers a lot of ground, and because it takes place in the world of conventions, it's a world that most of us know to some extent, and that was really cool too. Could kind of see it from the other side of things, as a guy where everybody's sort of clamoring for his attention, and you know, he's the star of the event. It was really kind of fascinating, and it was fun to watch other things show up. Like they showed some footage of a panel that he was on that also had like Windy Peony from ElfQuest, and you were constantly like spotting people you knew, and you're like, cool. Which was great. So yeah, if you get a chance to see this, I don't know where it's going to end up. And like I said, they just did this screening on Monday for 80 different theaters, and our screening was at 5 p.m. and so that at 8 p.m. on the East Coast they could see it with this Q&A and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, absolutely fascinating to see his whole life. So yeah, if you get a chance to see it, definitely do. If it crops up on some streaming service somewhere, do check it out, because it was so surprising in how good it was. It's an hour and 50 minutes, and it just kind of flew by. It was really good.
Yeah. Cool.
I went when Sean went to Disneyland this week, because Sean goes almost every week to Disneyland. I went to downtown LA. Not exactly at the same time. I worked for a little over a half day, and then I went to a long late lunch and bought fabric for a costume. Shop. It was fun. Met a couple friends, and we looked in all the shops and dreamed about other things that we weren't buying that day.
We're really lucky to live in Los Angeles, where
so lucky.
We're basically a port city, and so all of these fabrics come in, and all of this great stuff arrives here before it gets thrown out to the rest of the country.
Well, and a lot of places, they don't even have the resources of fabric stores at all anymore. They just, the same thing that happened in every other sales industry is that the big box stores drove the small stores out of business, and then the big box stores are now starting to fail. And so there's no place to buy fabrics, and having to buy them online is a challenge because how are you sure that that's really the color you think it is?
Yeah.
And with fabric, I mean, if you take it outside the store, it's going to look like it's a different color than, because lighting is different.
Right. And I'm getting exhausted with the whole foraging aspect of things, where if I go to a store and I can't find what I'm looking for anywhere because they're just not carrying it in person anymore, it's just a drag. Really, like being a crafter, being a maker, doing that kind of stuff, and trying to find the resources to work on your projects. I'm coming home empty-handed more often than not because the stores aren't just carrying basic stuff. Like I consider, certain glues and certain like rub and buff, the metallic wax and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of things that I consider this really like basic staple that used to be everywhere. Last time I went to Michael's, I couldn't even find rub and buff anywhere, and they didn't have a suitable replacement in their no-name brand or anything. And they're like,
oh, okay.
I guess you're gonna have to get it online.
Yeah.
And I found an end cap that had some kind of metallic paint or something. I'm like, that's hardly the same thing. It's just, it's exhausting.
I think the Joanne over here is closed or is closing because they're closing them all down.
Yeah.
But
I think they filed for bankruptcy. Yeah.
Yeah. But M&L is still around, which is up in Anaheim, and I've been there in a long time.
Well, and M&L is a privately owned fabric store that they took over an old supermarket, and they can make that whatever they want because they're not a chain. They don't have more of them. They just have to keep that one going.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can. They're a pretty good store, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they're still around, so I guess they're surviving. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Genio over on the chat brings up the problem that I have, which is I need to see it in person and I need to touch it. And I need to look at this stuff, and it can be fabric or or any kind of finding or anything that you're doing for a project like that, or even electronics or some other thing where I need to see it, make sure it does what I want it to do. We had problems finding a replacement clock because you'd read the description, it would say one thing, they'd send you the clock, and it would be completely different. It didn't do. Like all my clocks kind of have to be 24-hour clocks because that's how I roll. And they're like, oh yeah, 24-hour, whatever. And it's like, no, you can't even get more than a 1 on the clock.
It's a drag. The hell.
Yeah, it's and it's a thing I would have known instantly had I seen it, and I could have ignored it to not buy it instead of getting stuck with it or shipping it back or doing whatever. It's like, oh. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe we'll have a bit of a revolution, and people will go back to brick and mortar, or maybe that's it. Maybe it's by and large is coming. It's just going to be that one big global company.
So I managed to buy things for a Bridgerton costume.
Nice.
Yeah, because we're doing one of the events at Costume College this year is a Bridgerton gala, and I thought. It's not that hard to make Regency.
And you don't have one, do you? A Regency costume?
I do, but it's day wear. And Bridgerton's kind of over the top. So.
Oh yeah, it's exaggerated for effect.
But I went in a direction that the people who were with me weren't quite expecting, and so they were. They were not expecting the what I was looking for, and that's that I've heard that the final big event that happens in Bridgerton this season, the episode that's not out yet, is a celestial ball. And so that was the theme I was trying to go for.
They're calling it the Dream Ball, and the pictures that I've seen of it are definitely showing lots of stars and constellations and stuff.
Yeah.
Including in the clothing. Is really so it does. It sounds like you're very much on target with what you want to do.
So,
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh. So is that it, Sean? Do you have anything to report about your Disney trip this week?
Well, it was fun. I did another test You may remember a couple weeks ago, I went to Disneyland in a kilt. My buddy John was like, "You got to wear a kilt at Disneyland. You got to do it. I'm gonna wear mine." I'm like, "Okay." So I kilted up, and I went to Disneyland. And when I came home that night after a long day of Disneyland, I had very minimal hive symptoms in the areas that I normally would, which are usually like around the waistband and all the kind of places that the fabric rubs as you're getting in and out of rides or you're walking around the park or you're doing whatever. So I thought, well, okay, since I didn't get any blisters and I had very few hives, I'm going to try this again and see if it was a fluke or not. So kilted up again, went to Disneyland with Judy and with Mark. And Mark hadn't been there since 2005, I think he said. So that was really fun to be able to show someone around Disneyland who hadn't been there in almost 2 decades, which just is like kind of crazy to me. And none of his family wanted to go, so it was just Judy and myself and Mark, and we had all been members of the Enigma Science Fiction Club at UCLA, and so it was a lot of fun. So we did like 12 things. We did some stuff that I've never done, like we got the meal package to sit and watch the new Fantasmic now that Fantasmic has reopened. And so this is either Fantasmic 2.5 or 3.0, depending on how you want to look at it. And that was interesting to see what they kept, what they changed, what was new and different, and what worked and what didn't. That was kind of fun. It was showing them around Galaxy's Edge. Getting him onto all the rides that Mark wanted to go on, except the real thing he really wanted to do, Haunted Mansion, of course, was closed. And we ended up walking around 8 miles around the park, and we got there at just a little after noon, and we stayed until security quite literally kicked us out. We were just about the last people to leave the park because Judy wanted ice cream at the last minute. And so
They quite literally kicked you out?
Yes. Wow. So we got this ice cream. We went over by the lockers. We sat at a table. We're eating our ice cream. It's 1:45, and Main Street stays open till 1. And security guards, like vultures, started coming in and standing around us. And so we very rapidly finished our stuff out, and they walked us out. And it was a wall of security guards.
They didn't kick you out. They just hovered until you left.
Oh, it was as close to getting kicked out for not having sort of like a violent altercation that you can get. They were like, as soon as you're done, come on. And they were standing there like checking their watches and stuff. And then they walked behind us to the gate until we were out of the park, which was like, wow. So as a result, of course, we'd been there for like 12 hours. We'd done all sorts of stuff. We'd been 8 miles around the park, and I got home, and again, I didn't have the kind of blisters and hives that I usually get. And clothing of any sort, it doesn't matter what fabric it is, what it's made out of, how it's treated or washed or whatever. It's just where it rubs. And so I'll get it around my wrist, or like I've got some where my watch was. I've got some hives. And, especially when I wear Jedi stuff, or if I wear Stormtrooper armor, I can't wear the Stormtrooper armor anymore because I get these horrible blisters, which is terrible. Yeah. And so I guess I'm going to have to seriously consider throwing kilts into my wardrobe, especially where it's a thing where I'm going to be out doing something for long hours and that kind of thing. Because it really did seem to work. And all I can figure is that once you put the kilt on and you belt it in place, it stays on your waist and it doesn't move. Unlike pants where you're moving your legs and it's pulling the waistband up and down and around and that kind of thing. The kilt really doesn't move anywhere. And I think, and it's way better than my doctor suggested muumuu. You're not getting me in a muumuu. That's not going to happen. He's like, well, if you wear a muumuu, it's not going to touch it. Like, yeah, because that's attractive.
The doctor suggested that?
Yeah, yeah. Not
Wow.
gonna happen. But I could do the kilt, and I think that so we'll see. I'm starting to reevaluate and see how I can actually work that, or like utilakilts, or like some other varieties of that into my wardrobe. But my problem is that inherently I'm just used to like walking into Target, spending $20 for a pair of pants, and wearing them till they die. Like usually the knees blow out, and Colleen makes shorts out of them for me, and then I wear those till they die. So this is going to be a little different. I expect the kilts to have, they're not going to blow out at the knees. They don't have that same kind of problem. So we'll see. But it's going to take a little change in mindset, and I'm sure John will be ecstatic because he's been trying to get me to do this for quite a long time. So he's not the only one running around in a kilt. And so, but I'm glad that at least it lessens these symptoms and stuff. And I had so much fun at Disneyland. We did so many great things, and it was an awful lot of fun. But really my best takeaway from that was that this really seems to be something that alleviates, a symptom and a problem that I've had for 30 years.
Oh, good.
And so we'll have to see, how it all shakes out. But yeah, all told, it was a terrific day. We did lots of stuff. It was nuts. Let me jump in here real quick, and I will remind you guys that you are listening to us on sci-fi.radio. Sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. The station just had its 15th birthday. It's been going on for quite some time. Thanks to you guys, because it's a listener-supported station. We call it NPR, Nerd Public Radio. But if you go to sci-fi.radio, which is our cool URL, we've got all sorts of news stories and stuff for you. And we will also, we appreciate anybody who's able to contribute and make it so that the station owner doesn't have to dig deep. Because we license our music. We're not a pirate station and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I can do my show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, with all that cool music I play. Because we've paid for it. You could be watching us also on Facebook or on Twitch or on YouTube. Any of those are good. Like or subscribe or do whatever you can to let us know that you are there. Boba-Kit Sovine does our control document, posts all the stuff that we chat about during the week into one concise document that helps us keep it all straight so we know what the heck we're talking about. So thanks to Kit for doing that. And I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
Jeff Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And thanks, y'all, for being here. We're glad to have you guys, especially those of you lurking over in the chat. Kelly and Eric and Jinyo and Lori and Dawn, all sorts of folks hanging out. So thanks for being here. We're very glad to see you. Alrighty, Star Wars stuff?
That was weird.
Or do we?
Oh, no.
Did your lights go out?
No. Am I still connected with you guys?
You are, yeah. You're still on.
Okay, good. I don't know what's going on. Our internet is something funky. There it goes. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you did get a little dark. And
hopefully, I think
weird.
they're like, someone's fiddling with it downstairs, and they're like...
That's really funny.
Good gravy.
Strange. What do you think? Star Wars history?
Yeah,
I can probably go get through that now. Sure.
Do it.
Okay. We only have one birthday this week. June 13th, 1929. That's when Ralph McQuarrie was born. And, well, he's basically the reason we have Star Wars. His artwork is what helped sell the darn movie.
Completely. Yeah, he was an artist for Boeing and McDonnell Douglas and aerospace. George Lucas met him and said, "Hey, you do really cool hardware. How about you do some paintings to show people what my movie's all about?" Yeah. And Ralph went, okay, seems kind of cool. And then he did a portfolio of 12 paintings that George used to take to studios when he made his pitch to show them what Star Wars was gonna look like.
Yep.
Absolutely
and then,
nuts.
They started using a lot of the stuff that wasn't actually thrown into the movies from his artwork to throw into stuff like The Mandalorian and like the sequel trilogy and Ahsoka and stuff, like little background things and structures.
Well, and he also he did designs for Battlestar Galactica. He did character designs. He did so much art that was incredible and essential to Star Wars. I'm gonna flip us over here, and so you've seen a lot of these paintings over the years. They're the things that always come up, and of course Ralph did them for all the movies. It was my honor to induct him into the 501st Legion up at Industrial Light and Magic, and I can't tell you how moved he was that people even thought of him, remembered him to bring him in and do that for him. He was just so surprised that it was and like near tears. It really he's just like, I don't hear much about Star Wars anymore, but he was the main guy. If you mentioned anything about Star Wars, Ralph McQuarrie was the first person you thought of.
Exactly.
So yeah, and he's been honored with his own action figure, where he's in Hoth battle gear, like you see the soldier in the background of this picture. So there is a Colonel McQuarrie figure, which is really great. And yeah, he designed Boba Fett. He came up with Stormtrooper designs. Darth Vader went through all sorts of permutations based on his concepts and ideas. The X-Wing went through variations as he designed it. Just phenomenal. And as an artist, his talent is unparalleled. Just incredible. So yeah, so totally, we owe him so much, and all of these things. The pictures I've been showing you are just from The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
and there were so many, and all of these paintings were big, and they were in the aspect ratio of the film frame, so that what you saw is like what you would have seen on the screen. Yeah, super cool. We may only have one birthday, but it's a biggie.
It's a big one.
Yeah, exactly. So.
History portion. It's not birthdays. We have God, noisy back here. June 7th, 1977 is when Kenner made the deal with 20th Century Fox to start selling Star Wars toys and whatnot. And of course, they were completely broadsided with the large number of people wanting toys that they didn't expect.
Well, and 20th Century Fox went very quickly from toys, who's going to want those, to, oh, we made a bad deal.
Whoops.
It's like, we let that get away. But the deal was actually with George, where he's like, hey, I want the merchandising rights to this movie. And they're like, knock yourself out, dude. That's not going to be worth much.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Wah, wah, wah.
Right.
Oh, dear. And there's something interesting because we just brought that up and I just found this out today. Casey, Owen's other half, was at someone having a garage sale, and at the end of their garage sale, they were just putting stuff up at the curb for people to come and take, And Casey grabbed one of those Darth Vader action figure cases.
Yeah.
That was sitting by the curb.
Okay.
And then took it on home. And we opened it up, and there's a bunch of figures in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so there's like Darth Vader with the vinyl
cape.
Loki thing. Yeah. The Obi-Wan and such. There's a Greedo in there,
Oh, that's amazing.
Bunch of really cool action figures in there.
Wow, that's a lucky find.
Yeah.
And it says something that nobody bought it at the garage sale.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
They're asking me, is this yours? I'm like, no. So let's see. Number 2 of the history, June 10th, 1997. That's when Chewbacca got the Lifetime Achievement Award at the MTV Movie Awards.
Woohoo.
Which was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was administered by Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Which was terrific. And yeah,
got his award.
It was a long time coming. And so Star Wars had been out for 20 years by that point. So it only took him 20 years to get his just desserts.
Exactly. Yeah. And our last one is of the history is June 11th, 2017. And well, it's that's when Harrison Ford broke his leg on the set of The Force Awakens.
As I
do that? Did he fall, or did something fall on him?
A door closed on his leg on the Falcon.
Wow.
Yeah, the Falcon. Oh, whammo! It's like, geez, that
must have been a really heavy.
And
door.
I think he was blaming J.J. Abrams for it. He was.
Probably should. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty serious about it, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. David.
Before we,
I'll find one if I have one. I'll send one.
Before we move on from this, let's stop and wish Kelly a happy birthday. Her birthday was
happy birthday, Kelly.
June 7th. Double nickels.
Wow.
Double nickels for Kelly. So happy birthday! I hope it was a good one. Actually, to
it's a few days ago.
Kind of gush a little bit. She just had a really great trip to the Grand Californian and did all sorts of cool Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So I will
cool.
assume that was for the birthday, and we're all jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very cool.
And I have another one more piece of Star Wars news that's not in our document. I put it in our Facebook chat. I only recently found it.
Okay.
And it is, I guess you could say this is, but never mind. Anyway, Dave Filoni gave an update on his movie. And,
what did he say?
So I put it in there, and it's literally, it won't be out for a while because I mean the first movie coming out will be the Mando Grogu movie in 2026, so it's supposed to be after that. Okay. So sometime after that when it comes out, he says it's literally what we all thought. It's basically just wrapping up everything from all the series he's been doing with like Ahsoka and Mando and such. And at the time frame it takes place is basically exactly just following those series. And he says that he does have an opening. He's just been working on Ahsoka season 2, so he's busy with that. But he does have an opening that he started to work on, a cool opening for the story. So there you
go. Laura said that we should double check the date on Harrison's leg. This says that it was definitely in June. It's not giving me an actual day, but it does say that the British firm that was owned by Disney was fined $2 million for health and safety breaches.
Yee.
And a court was told the door acted like a blunt guillotine coming down millimeters from his face.
Oh my God.
He suffered severe injuries from the accident, including a broken left leg after he walked on the set not believing it to be live.
Yeah. That is terrible, man.
It happens.
Yeah. I have these, by the way. I don't know when we want to do this thing. If you can even see them.
Oh, hey, we got some
let's
too.
Let's do them right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you?
I have no idea what they are.
Did you open yours yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Ours are open and in the cookie jar.
Aubrey got them for me, so I don't know. She says, open them on the show. My luck will be red.
You don't know the power of the cookie jar.
No.
How many do you want, Colleen?
They are blue.
Just one. I'm
Just-
not allowed to have
just
more
one?
than one.
Here,
I don't know if you can see it.
You
They're
get
blue.
a Wookiee cookie.
I get a Wookiee cookie.
So, yep. Whoops. Yep. Mine are blue.
Yours are blue. Okay,
Yeah.
right on. Very cool. Ours are blue, the light side. Colleen's got the Wookiee. I have Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course.
Let's see. Who did I pull out here?
I'm not very good at holding these things.
I got Leia. I
it's
just
hard,
grabbed it out of the
Watch
box.
the camera.
So, woo!
So, it's hard to angle these right so that you can see them.
There we go.
I need a better light. Nope, you're way high. Now you're low.
Yeah.
Now you're in the middle. Oh, no, stop! Ah, crash.
But what's funny is on the other side, they're just plain Oreo.
They're just plain Oreo. And then in the middle, it's like they decided not to do color in all of it. Is it like a cheap thing? Are they trying to be lightsabery where it's white in the middle and it's got a blue glow? I don't know.
Also, the filling, the frosting, has some sort of crunchy bits in it.
That
R2.
that's R2? Oh, right on. Very cool. I think we need a little more light.
It's the filling has white in the middle.
It's
Yes.
like
Blue around white.
I feel like
Probably
I
looks like a
feel like I
lightsaber.
need like a spotlight. Like spotlight on cookies. There we go. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Other shows don't have this problem.
No. What is this?
Laura wants to know if my cookie is chewy.
No, they're pretty fresh,
I can't
actually.
tell. Lighting's so bad, I can't tell what this one even is. I think it's supposed to be Obi-Wan, but it's really hard to tell.
Yep, that's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Hooray!
That's the one I just ate. I ate Yoda earlier. Sorry.
Don't crunch into your microphone, Sean.
Oh,
Yeah, don't be doing that, man.
sorry about that. I'll tell you, one of the ones that looks the best is C-3PO.
Yeah. There you go. Quadruple stuff, because I think they're double stuff. There you go. Quadruple
Ooh.
stuff.
He actually looks really good,
Yeah.
That spotlight really works.
right? All right. I'm closing up the cookie jar. Thud. Yeah, it took a little while to find them. And
They
I'll-
had them at Ralph's,
and
both
I'll,
on the end cap and with the rest of the cookies.
I'll change my microphone so you don't have to hear me crunch. Yeah,
Too late.
I had thought about getting the blue milk, and doing this.
Too much sugar.
With the blue milk, but it would have been too much, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually
Although
care
Jeff's
for the blue
drinking
milk.
like a Coke with his cookies.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't usually drink soda, but I needed the caffeine.
I was drinking water out of my Chewbacca cup
That's it, though.
with my
Oh, see?
Chewbacca cookie. It's actually a Life Day
Whew.
cup.
Now I'm down to water.
We
Oh,
did
my
tell
goodness.
some of the cast members, some of the locals at Batu, that Life Day was coming on the 17th. They were very excited.
Thanks. Woohoo!
I have.
Oh.
Before we get into the one item we have for theme parks, I have two comments.
Uh-oh.
The first
Scratch,
one
scratch.
is that if you go to the Disney Parks blog,
Uh-huh.
they've changed the whole look of it. They've
Oh.
changed the way it's organized, its fonts,
Really?
everything. Everything about it is different. It's Disney Parks Blogs, all one word.com.
Oh, look at that. Well, first off, looks like they're getting ready for Tiana's.
That's just the Tiana's Adventure. That's just like their top story.
Yeah. You know what it looks like? And actually, this site doesn't look that unlike what we're doing on sci-fi.radio, except there are a lot fewer ads, if you can believe it, on Disney. But it looks like they are modifying their site to be better viewed on a phone.
Oh.
So I bet if you call it up on a phone,
It's easy to look at.
It will put all of these stories in a nice tidy line. I'm going to call it up right now. Let's see.
Silence as we all look up.
Right. So like, hey, follow along at home, won't you?
I'm actually trying to find a photo for David, but it's not.
DisneyParksBlog.com. Oh yeah. See, so this worked out exactly the way I thought. So I will. Show y'all.
I mean, as soon as you said that, it was totally obvious because I can see how the columns would break down.
Yeah, so you can kind of see all of this, how everything's in a nice tidy line. As they do it. And so that's why the page changed, I'm sure, is they're trying to make it more phone friendly because a lot of pages aren't.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is while I was poking around on the Disney Parks blog, I went to... No, I didn't go to the Eats section. I went to, if you go to Explore, you can go to each individual like park or cruise ship or whatever. They've got all of their different properties listed, and you can go see the blog items about the individual park. And I'm like, here is the Pixar Fest. I don't remember which particular. Oh, here it is. Foodie Guide to the Pixar Fest. And it has the Pixar cake on it. And when I clicked on the article, right here, it says that the Plaza Inn has the Pixar Fest cake available April 26th through August 4th. And yet when you go to the Plaza Inn menu on the Disneyland page,
they don't have it.
They have strawberry shortcake as their only dessert.
Because I looked last time I was there. Because the thing that
did you actually go into the?
No, we looked on the menu. I didn't go in.
Yeah, so I'm wondering whether they have it in the Plaza Inn and they're just not listing it on the menu, or whether it's not even available.
Well, and one of the things that's weird that if they don't have it is that they are offering like cup toppers or straw buddies or something that are that cake, and that's weird because I'm like, why?
Yeah, and it is totally the Pixar cake with the red, blue, and yellow layers and the Pixar ball on the top of it. Says that it's available here and not.
Yeah, it's really strange that it doesn't seem to be there, and I didn't see anybody with it when I walked by or whatever. So I'll look for sure next time I go to see if it's there. Because, I was going to see if there was a piece there that I could like kidnap and bring home. I know you're on a diet, Colleen, but it's good cake.
It is really good cake. On that same page where they have the cake, they've got some really revolting looking sausages stuffed in a baked potato.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Barbecue potato dog.
Where is that at? What location?
That is at the Coke corner, refreshment corner. Sorry, it's no longer the Coke corner.
Right.
Oh, he's going to gross everybody else out with the picture.
Oh, there it is. Ew. No.
It's so
Wait, what?
Why?
What the hell's that?
It is a barbecue potato dog.
It's a potato wrap. It's
Smoked
like a Ronto
sausage.
wrap with potatoes.
That doesn't look right at all. Oh,
Smoked sausage, barbecue pulled pork, coleslaw, fried onions, and green onions served in a baked potato. And it looks like a greasy baked potato, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really gross.
It's not flattering.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with yuck.
There's also, just below that, there's a snake on a funnel cake that does not look attractive either.
There was a snake on the cake.
It looks like some kid's art project. that you're like, oh, I'll put it on the refrigerator.
Right. I want this Monday, Friday snake off my Monday, Friday cake.
There are potatoes available
The
at
heck?
Troubadour Tavern that don't look as disgusting as the one with the sausage sticking out of it.
Oh man, the snake one cake almost looks like funnel cake that's been squished.
It is.
It is funnel cake.
Is
Okay.
funnel cake.
Oh, it is funnel
Yeah,
cake that's
it's
squished.
funnel
Okay.
cake with like frosting on it.
Okay.
The description of it is funnel cake topped with chocolate peanut butter pudding, cookie crumbles, peanut butter dust, and a candy snake. I'm trying not to
Good God.
gag here.
Inspired by Woody from Toy Story.
It's like a big chewy thing full of diabetes.
This
right
this
there.
is your dessert, Jeff.
Oh right, because is it supposed to be a boot though?
No. But it's somehow inspired by.
They do have ube flavored popcorn with M&Ms and Oh no, not M&Ms and Skittles in the same
Ooh,
dish.
that's terrible.
It
Oh
has
man.
ube popcorn, regular plain M&Ms, freeze-dried Skittles, and pretzel sticks. Why are the Skittles freeze-dried?
Well, and what happens too? So freeze drying them makes them crunchy instead of gummy,
Yeah.
and they split. The shells split, so they also look like popcorn with candy shells. It's very strange.
It's like, but no,
Oh,
the
man.
chocolate and the fruit, no.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah. I'd wear Woody there to get it, but they won't. I don't think they'd let me.
Yeah, some of these, I don't know about this. They've got a cheese tortellini cone.
So, all right. I feel like a lot of this saying it's inspired by something is kind of BS. Because here's a churro near Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. It is a blackberry churro inspired by Toy Story, but they don't say how. How is a blackberry churro inspired by Toy Story? I don't get it. What is it in Toy Story?
Blackberry.
I
Served
need
with a strawberry banana dipping sauce.
I need a ruling.
I
don't-
have no idea.
Chili cone queso.
I don't know. I mean, the one that's got all the gummy things over kind of makes sense, but
Yeah.
So
There's-
they do have the coal nut puffs filled with blue cloud mousse inspired by Elemental. I don't understand why this is not offered in Galaxy's Edge as a Mustafar delight.
yeah, it
It
got me
looks
there.
like they got it from Mustafar. That right there.
Yeah. It
Oh.
looks like lava.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like lava rock with glowing lava in it.
Yeah, it's very Kylo Ren.
It's beyond me why they don't serve that somewhere, like maybe at the blue milk stand or something.
Right,
if they want to
exactly.
have it near the bad guys area.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these are dodgy, I think.
I think a lot of them are dodgy.
A wet burrito inspired by Coco.
I mean, yeah, sure.
All right. I mean, some of these look kind of interesting, I suppose.
Yeah.
Shake 2319 inspired by Monsters Inc.
The sea monster
pretty
lemonade
cool.
looks kind of good,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
but I'm not drinking beverages with sugar in them, so I will not be trying it.
Okay.
All righty.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
All right, so I guess we don't need to
Ow,
continue to
ow.
look at all of the
Spooky food.
food. Yeah,
Were those your two comments?
those were my two comments.
Okay, great.
There we go.
So we can move on
Looks
to
tasty.
the annual pass drama. Someone wrote a
Oh, that thing.
what's it called when you make your opinion
Opinion
in the
piece?
newspaper? An opinion
Yeah.
piece. And it's titled "Annual Passes Have Become a Bad Deal for Theme Parks."
Yeah.
And I don't know why this is news to anybody because
Yeah.
this is why annual pass holders at Disneyland don't get the treatment that annual pass holders in Florida do.
Right.
Because in Florida, they're trying to get more annual pass holders, and in California, they're trying to get fewer annual pass holders.
Yeah.
Yep.
But basically, it's just saying that when you have as many, like they chased annual pass holders at all of the different amusement parks, and then they are they're having problems with their own success. They've got so many annual pass holders, but the annual pass holders aren't spending as much per visit. So then
I don't know if that's true,
they're
but
pushing the prices up on everything, and then the people who aren't annual pass holders, the prices are too expensive, so they're not going. So, I mean, yeah.
yeah, I mean, in general, I imagine there's people that don't spend much money or any money when they go to Disneyland or something like that. We usually end up buying stuff anyway when we go, whether it's like at Knott's even, we'll buy things, even though we have the food plan and other things, we're still buying stuff.
Well,
I'm not really sure what
Disneyland,
they mean.
I don't buy nearly as much as a tourist would, because as a tourist, I'm going to come in and I'm going to be there at rope drop because this is my only chance. And I'm going to, if I ate breakfast before I came in, I still might be hungry for a coffee or something, a snack at the beginning. And then I'm going to eat lunch, and then I'm going to eat dinner, and then I'm going to get some treat while I'm there. And then I'm going to buy at least one souvenir, maybe a couple. Yeah. But as an annual pass holder, I'm going to come in, I might eat one meal, maybe two meals. Instead of 3+ snacks.
Well,
I'm not going to eat as many desserts because I'm not on vacation. And I don't buy a ton of stuff. Like, I might buy a pin, which is going to be like $15 or something like that. But I'm not going to buy a T-shirt and a balloon.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the person, because
it does.
When I didn't have passes, we didn't spend much at the park because just getting to the park was too damn expensive anyway.
That's true.
We'd probably go eat somewhere. We'd probably leave the park usually to go eat somewhere, then come back.
Oh, I wouldn't do that because it involves walking too far.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we would end up doing. Like, my parents would take us. We usually wouldn't eat. We would be eating before we got there or something. Try to spend, because it was expensive even back when I was younger. So.
Yeah, I laugh at the expense of it when I was younger.
Yeah. But,
if only.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess if they really want to lower the number of people attending as pass holders, I guess if they merely just got rid of the pay by the month thing, that probably lower the number, but I don't know.
Yeah, it might, but it depends. The point that's being made here in this article is that if they cancel their annual passes for a year, to see how it would work out and see what the actual demand was for tickets, that they think that they would also, the park would have to lower their ticket prices to get more people in.
I think that would be a terrible idea.
Well, I mean, it can be up to $200 to get into Disneyland for one day.
Didn't they kind of already do that after the pandemic?
Yeah.
Like annual passes weren't available for like a year or so.
And a lot of people, like we sold our pass back to Disney.
That's true.
Yeah.
And basically they said you can hold on to your pass until we reactivate it, or we will prorate your pass and give you your money back.
Yeah.
Well, they said that at first, and then they gave everybody their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I mean, we had decided to get our money back, and then that's where they went for everybody. But this is specifically aimed at Disneyland and the Disneyland Resort.
Yeah.
And
it talks about Universal in there too.
Right. But
it's aimed at Disneyland.
Disneyland Resort just got the go-ahead from Anaheim to build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what makes you think they don't want all this money? They're not going to lower their ticket prices. They're going to try to accumulate as much money as possible so that they can build all of this stuff. Now, to be fair, they make a stupid amount of money. There's no doubt. They could lower their prices and not really suffer for it. And that's the big problem, is that every industry is doing this. The oil industry is insane right now. And when you have companies like Chevron going, we have made record profits this year.
Yeah.
And, in the meantime, gas prices are at an all-time high. It's really frustrating to see all these companies go, we're making money for our shareholders. And it makes people, and I have this conversation with Disney fans all the time, it makes people not want to spend money on their product. And I don't go to a regular gas station if I can help it. I go to Costco, where we do have a membership and we have a credit card, and we get money back at the end of the year, and we get a big discount on gas. We don't go to Shell or Chevron or any of these other things that are charging an arm and a leg. Disney is kind of the same thing. I've talked to a lot of people, and you were this way for a while, Jeff, where you went, I'm just not going to get a Disney pass this year. I'm going to Knott's. I'm going to Universal. I'm going to somewhere else that's cheaper. Or I'm just going to go ride roller coasters over at Six Flags. People, are making changes to what they would normally do because Disney is pricing them out of attending. Yep. And that is going to have a big backlash.
Even if bite them in the butt is what's going to happen.
Yeah, even if Disney canceled all of their annual passes and stuff, I don't think they're going to lower the annual ticket, the daily ticket.
No, because they can get people to pay it, so all the traffic will bear.
Yeah,
it'd be nice if they added the parking back onto all the passes, though. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But again, if they can that's the most annoying thing.
If they can get people to do it, then then they will. That's what capitalism is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sean, do you want to do the rest in peace section?
Surely. Let me pop back over there. Who do we lose this week? William Anders passed away at the age of 90. Former astronaut, took maybe the most famous picture that NASA has ever produced, which was the curvature of the moon with the Earth rising up above it. And in fact, here, I'll tell you what, let me pop this up here so you can know what I'm talking about. This picture right here, you've seen it a bajillion times. Somebody had to take it, and that was him, which was kind of crazy. And so at the age of 90, he died in a plane crash, which is a really kind of surprising at the age of 90. But he was piloting his own plane, and he landed in the waters off the San Juan Islands, and his son made the announcement. He was a retired Air Force colonel, followed his dad into the service. So, but he was on Apollo 8 when he took that photograph in 1968. That's sort of the big blue marble photograph is what that became known as. So sad to hear about that. Bonnie Mavis passed away. She was a fixture in the Disney theme parks as somebody who worked in hospitality over, especially at Club 33. She was on a golf cart. The golf cart was doing about 20 miles an hour backstage, went over a bump, and she fell off the back of the cart and suffered brain injuries. She'd worked at Disneyland Resort for 24 years, and she worked in the membership services department for Club 33. which was really kind of a bummer. So Disneyland's got a thing where they try to kind of like, quiet any of this sort of news. And there's an interesting uprising among cast members going, don't squash this. Make sure everyone knows. It's very interesting to see that they're making sure that their fellow cast member gets the credit that she deserves, and that Disney kind of held accountable for her unfortunate and seemingly accidental death, but definitely a bummer nonetheless. Jerry West, 3-time Hall of Fame selection for the NBA, and the guy who was traced for the NBA logo, although they never have officially come out and said anything. And West didn't want to be the logo. He didn't want to be known as the logo. He wouldn't confirm it. He says, I'm just part of the game. I don't want to be any more than that. I'm fortunate to have the life I had, and that's enough for me. But his life was insane. He was in the NBA. He was in the Olympics. He became a executive in the NBA, and he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame 3 times for 3 different things. It's kind of nuts. So he passed away at the age of 86, and as I recall, I think there's a statue of Jerry West down by what used to be Staples Center. I don't even know what they call it now. They keep changing the name. It's like I don't know, Cyber Currency Stadium or something. They keep changing the stupid name of the stadium. I don't care. Tony LaBianco was an actor in The French Connection and The 7-Ups and The Honeymoon Killers and a bunch of other things. Played Fiorella LaGuardia in a one-man show. He passed away. Did movies for Francois Truffaut and things like that. But he died at the age of 87 recently. And our last one, Johnny Canales, passed away. Tejano music legend, TV host, passed away at the age of 77. And he was like sort of a pillar of the Latino music community, and got his own show in the early 1980s, started around Texas, and then moved all over the world, which was crazy. He launched a bunch of other people's career and whatnot. So sad to hear of his passing, for sure.
Wow, Jeff, what kind of speed round action you got?
Oh boy. Well, let's see here. It was yeah. Okay. There's a trailer on our thing called the Imaginary, and it's a anime. It's anime from Japan that actually came out, I guess, in Japan last year. But the trailer that was on there is actually in English, British English, to be specific, dubbed, and it's going to be hitting Netflix this year. And it's kind of like, it's a bit like the movie If, and then like the horror film that's out called Imaginary, or something else like that. But this came out, came out last year, and obviously was worked on before that, since it's animation, probably for about a year or so. So, and it looks fun. I mean, I don't know how edited it might be, or if it's just merely just dubbed over, to be honest. But it's nice, clean. It's nice, clean, and animation. It's very definitely anime and movie quality, and good. It looks fun. So I don't have Netflix right now, so it's gonna be fun. Whenever I guess whenever Stranger Things drops again, we'll probably turn it back on just for that. And then I can actually catch up on the Netflix stuff for a little bit and see this. It looks like fun.
I wanted to mention that four, I think, of the Alamo Drafthouse Texas locations are closing because the person who owned the franchise filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which means it's different than Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is you reorganize and you reopen, and Chapter 13, if I'm correct, is where you close everything. And so the article, when you first read the headline, was very much like Alamo Drafthouse is closing all locations. The one franchisee is closing all their locations. So there are like 4 to 5 locations that are closing, which is bad, but it's not like the entire chain went down.
Right.
Okay.
So, Sean?
Blanca Godino is 39 years old, and 71-year-old Richard Siegel were taken into custody after police served a search warrant at their house in Long Beach. They had been perpetrating a series of thefts from a authorized Lego reseller chain called Bricks and Minifigs.
I've heard of them.
Been rolling in there and stole thousands, 2,600 Lego sets, apparently.
Were they just like shoplifting them?
I think that they were, a little bit of shoplifting, everything from like $20,000 to more than $1,000, from $20 to $1,000 items.
Wow.
And
how do you shoplift a $1,000 Lego set?
I know, it's a big old box.
Because that is a big box of Legos.
right, well, and that's the thing is that
Really big coat.
it says video shows the two suspects grabbing different products, putting them in boxes. One of them is pulling products from the shelves, while the other is behind the counter taking items from cases. So I can only think that this
Maybe
must
they broke
be
in.
must be after hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like.
And that may even be a different set of people, because who are the people who are like, aren't these people a little old, 71 years old, to go in and start stealing stuff out of a Lego thing? The chain is a nationwide chain, and they're opening new stores.
Well, they must be selling
time.
them on eBay or something, because when you look at the video,
Yeah.
it shows like they have multiples of the same sets.
Right, and
It's not like they're kleptomaniacs.
oh no, and they're not
Yeah.
they're not putting them together. No, they're selling them on eBay, and I think that's what alerted them.
People suck. Don't steal
that,
Legos.
It says potential buyers who saw ads for the toys online stopped by the home, and they were arrested for organized retail theft. And Godino, who was the 39-year-old, for grand theft. So it's kind of nuts. So this has been happening in like Riverside and Torrance and Long Beach and Whittier, like all over the Southern California area.
When I was in high school, the choir classes got really expensive specialty chairs, and the chairs were like $50 a piece or something like that. And we used to joke about how many chairs it would take to beat Grand Theft Chair.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, and what's even weirder, so a company that I used to work for as a software guy, they moved to a building across from the Howard Hughes Parkway Mall over here, and because they got bought out by Sony, and everybody got like Herman Miller Aeron chairs, and the security guys would come, grab them, take them out of the office on weekends, and sell them.
Oh my gosh.
And so all their chairs started going missing. And it's, you take them from different parts of the building. You start in the conference room first and you go, how come we're like a chair short? And of course, the Aeron chairs are like $1,200 or something. A lot of money.
Yeah.
And if they undercut that by half, they just made $600 profit. So, perfectly cool for them.
Jeff?
Absolutely nuts.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you want to talk about, Jeff?
Oh, golly. Actually, I'm going to bring up something that's not on the list just because I can. And I'll put the link in the two chats so people can see it. But this is about the second season of Fallout on a Prime.
Okay.
And what it's basically confirming what again, much like earlier with Dave, the confirming that season 2 is literally going to be exploring the world of New Vegas, that particular game run for Fallout. So they're doing the New Vegas portion.
And in the current
season
series
2
takes place in Los Angeles. And I haven't seen it yet, but I know people keep posting things. There's a big discussion right now because one of the scenes showed like a Randy's Donuts in the background.
Yeah.
And I actually think it looks like a different donut shop that was here in LA called Angel Food Donuts because
More than likely.
the building is wildly wrong for Randy's.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So, and they're going to have apparently Mr. Handy Robot will be in part 2 here. So, or actually, they kind of had him in the first season, I thought, Mr. Handy Robot, but something like that they were doing. So, they're talking. It's a lot of we're excited, blah 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 blah, and yada yada, and this is cool system, cool game. We want to do this part of the series, yada yada. Yeah. So, just confirmation is Fallout New Vegas will be what season 2 is.
Interesting. Well, I have a Ghostbusters quiz. Question is, do you want the Ghostbusters quiz that's 11 questions that I put together, or do you want a 26-question Ghostbusters Frozen Empire quiz that someone else put together?
Well, we did see Frozen Empire most recently.
Do you want to do that?
So I guess we could do that.
All right.
We're going to go a little over, but that'll be cool.
Oh, no, here we go.
What is the license plate of Ray's motorcycle and sidecar combo? Is it Ecto C, Ecto 3 with the digit, or Ecto 3 with 3 ones?
Ecto
111.
C.
Sean is correct. Which of the New York Public Library lions does Phoebe destroy with her Neutrona wand? Is it fortitude or patience?
Fortitude.
Both got it. Which of these cool phrases does Phoebe say before activating the gunner seat near the start of the movie? I ain't afraid of no ghost. I've got a ghost to bust. Or bustin' makes me feel good.
I've got a ghost to bust.
Yes. Which of these phrases was not used to complete the sentence, light is green, in the movie? Is it, light is green, trap is clean, light is green, world is clean, or light is green, firehouse is clean? Which one was not used?
World is clean?
That's what I'm going with. I don't remember.
Firehouse is clean was not used.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Firehouse is clean? Okay.
Huh.
I guess world because the whole world, so okay, but I remember.
Yeah. Where was the Ghostbusters secret paranormal research center based? An old aquarium, an abandoned zoo, or a derelict museum?
Aquarium.
Correct. What was the punchline of Phoebe's geeky joke? Although they don't say what the joke is. He was traveling light, he was a light sleeper, or he was light on time?
Traveling light.
Correct. Which film does Gary suggest the Spangler family watch for movie night? Cannibal Girls, Vampire Babes, or Psycho Chicks?
Cannibal Girls.
Yes.
Which is a real movie, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which of these characters from the original 1984 movie reprised their role with the same actor? Was it the library administrator, the police chief, or the cab driver?
Library
The library.
administrator.
Correct. The first spooky activity that we see in the movie occurred in the headquarters of which organization? The Manhattan Adventurers Society, the New York Fire Department, or the Environmental Protection Agency?
Manhattan Adventurers
The,
Society.
Correct.
the event was, it was the Manhattan one.
Where does Garaka go in search of the fire master?
Well, he goes to do a smoke shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vape store, but yes.
Yeah.
How long did Phoebe leave her body for as a ghost?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Very good. The movie opens by taking us back to the firehouse's operational days. But what year was it? Do you want some options?
Sure.
Yeah.
1894, 1904, or 1914.
Was it 04?
It was 04. Good
Yeah.
job. What is the name of the ghost that Phoebe plays chess with during their first meeting in the park?
Melody.
Yes. What item did Melody the ghost carry with her?
Match.
Matches.
A book of matches with one match.
What did Phoebe deliver to Podcast and Ray at the occult store? Was it mood slime, Stay Puffed marshmallows, or blank tapes?
Mood slime.
Correct. Which metal alloy did Phoebe coat the components of her proton pack with?
Brass.
Yeah.
Correct. Which of these food items did the possessor inhabit? Pizza, Twinkie, or burger?
Pizza.
Correct. What does the dedication at the end of the movie read? For Harold, for Ivan, or for Winston? I hope not for Winston.
For Ivan.
Private, yeah.
Correct. Which of these supernatural abilities did Nadim have? Pyrokinesis, cryokinesis, or electrokinesis?
Pyrokinesis.
Correct. Which of these supernatural entities did the gang successfully catch with a flying drone trap? The sewer dragon, Garaka, or Pukey?
Sewer dragon.
Sewer dragon.
Yep. What color is the Ghostbusters support van that delivers the new proton packs to the gang? Dark green, black, or white?
I thought it was black.
It is black.
Yeah.
What does Podcast use to destroy the sentimental watch the old lady brought in to be assessed at Ray's occult?
A mallet.
A hammer. Yes. What was Garaka missing when he was first released from the orb? His
Horns.
Yeah.
Okay. Correct. Two more questions.
Uh-oh.
Where does Phoebe hide the proton packs she took from the firehouse lockers?
Under her bed.
Correct. What snack does Trevor use to attempt to tempt Slimer out of the firehouse attic?
Like Fire Hot Cheetos or something.
Cheesy Puffs.
Those cheese puffs, yeah.
Yep. You guys did really well.
Woo! Yeah.
Well, we rock, of course.
If you want to stay for overtime, I will do the other quiz. But we don't have to.
Oh, I don't mind.
That's only 11
Apparently, I was
questions or
looking
something.
down
Sure,
too
why
much.
not?
Everybody's talking about my hat. Spoilers for a movie that's been out for like a year. No.
Well, Don, it's
Sorry, Don.
you could probably see it on TV by now.
Right.
Yeah, almost.
Heavily edited. Woo.
Are you going to wrap us, Sean?
I surely can. You could have been listening to us on sci-fi.radio or on YouTube or on Twitch or on Facebook. Any of those things are great, and we love your company, especially all the people who are hanging out over on Discord. We really appreciate all your chatting and your point of view and all that kind of stuff. It's totally awesome. Thanks to Kit for doing all of the document stuff for us this week, although I don't know what she's doing tonight, but she's not lurking apparently. But thanks for that. And I'll be on the air tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time for Good Morning Tatooine on the sci-fi.radio. You can check things out over there.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is just Solo.
And I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby, as always.
May the
force
force
be with you.
you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is streaming on Amazon for the low price of $14.99.
Oh, there you go. So it's not free yet.
It is not free yet.
Dun, dun, dun. Are we doing a secondary quiz?
If you want to.
Or are we bailing
Yeah,
out?
we can do that. And then I'm going to bail after that because I'm tired. But
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Overtime quiz.
What actual actor is Slimer based on?
John Belushi.
John Belushi.
Correct. Who spoke the line? There is no Dana, only Zool.
The actor who
The
said
actor who said it.
Well, I thought that was Ivan.
Yes,
it? Yeah,
it was Ivan. Good job. What was the marshmallow made of after the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man exploded and landed on everyone?
Shaving cream, I think.
Yep.
Ugh.
Why is the cartoon called The Real Ghostbusters as opposed to just
Because
Ghostbusters?
Filmation already had a cartoon called Ghostbusters.
Yep.
And they wouldn't allow it to be made.
Right.
Dick Animations wasn't allowed to use it.
Well, what a dick.
Has Jason Reitman appeared in any of the Ghostbusters films?
Yes.
Yes, he has.
Ghostbusters 2.
Yes.
He's the little kid at the party.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
What are the names of the 4 Ghostbusters in the 2016 movie? I'll take either the characters or the actors.
Wow.
Well, let's see. Leslie Jones.
Right.
Kristen Wiig.
Melissa.
Um,
and then my brain goes blank, of course.
yeah. McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy.
There you
That was
go.
it.
Okay. And we got one more, don't we?
Yes.
The one name I could never, ever flip and remember her name.
It's the crazy one, Kurtzman.
Yeah. She was, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was not
Egon.
Kurtzman, it was Holtzman.
Holtzman.
Yeah,
thank you.
Holtzman, yeah.
And I can
Well, I can't-
picture her face,
Yeah.
and it's...
Yeah.
She
I can't
was
think
in
of
the
her
Barbie
name.
movie.
I know she was
Come on,
weird
chat.
Crazy Barbie.
Barbie,
Yeah.
and I can't...
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I'm
good creative.
picturing all these other
It
characters
was
she
not
does.
working.
Couldn't
Right.
remember.
In Afterlife, how does Phoebe try to fit in?
By telling jokes?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
In Afterlife, who is Podcast's only subscriber to his podcast?
Ray.
Ray Stantz.
Right. In Frozen Empire, which of the New York... Oh, you already answered this one.
Yeah.
In Frozen Empire, which of these characters... You answered this one, too.
Yeah.
Frozen Empire opened by taking us... Never mind, you answered all 3 of the
Wow.
last of them.
Oh, damn. Jeez.
Got all of my Frozen Empire
Well, it's
ones.
a very short quiz.
Yes, it was an 8-question quiz.
No.
But you
okay.
guys got all of them. So, well, except Kate McKinnon, who's going to haunt your dreams now.
Yeah,
I
right.
know. Damn it all.
Well, and yeah, it's really fun. And Mattel just released Weird Barbie as a
Because
doll.
Mattel is broken and doesn't understand their own movie.
Right, apparently.
I mean, the whole point of Weird Barbie was that kids made her
Kids
weird.
make Weird Barbie, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
you don't. Toy companies don't.
Yeah,
put
but
out...
but doll collectors don't care about that. They're not going to go pay some kid to make a Weird Barbie. They just want to buy it in a box.
But that's the whole point. Is Weird Barbie is not a doll to be collected.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it is. So there you go.
No.
Yeah.
Strange.
Basically, the end of like Ghost of which one was that? Was that Toy Story 2? Yeah, she's an artist.
Right. That's pretty funny. All right, everybody. If y'all have been lurking,
You guys hang in for those 3 minutes.
That's right. We appreciate that. I'm going to pop over to the radio side of things. Where is the radio side of things? I hope we're still on the air. There we go. Like I said, I'll be on the air tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific for Good Morning Tatooine. You can join us at sci-fi.radio or wherever you listen to quality radio programs. I will see all y'all then. Thanks for being here.
Good night, everybody.
See ya, see ya.
Good night. We already did the whole thing before. Yeah.
Right? I know, right? And then to you guys watching the video, let's give you some credits here. Season 12, episode 50, 2 more episodes, and we will start our 13th year. Gonna be nuts, I tell you. Absolutely crazy. We will see all y'all later on. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night, all.